Hello everyone, welcome along to another video. John here. Now the last video we took a look at how to put the sixth note from the major scale in our blues, and today we're going to be having a look at how to put the ninth in your blues. And the sixth kind of created a very kind of melodic sweet sound, and you hear that in B.B. King uses it a lot, you know. We're doing this in G here. So what I'm going to do for the ninth is I'm going to play a G6/9 chord, which goes like this. And when you do that, you're kind of getting the sound of that ninth. This is your second finger on the third fret of the low E, and then your first finger bars across the second fret of the D and the G, and then you put your third and fourth fingers on the third fret of the B and E string, so you have this. All right, so what is a ninth first of all? Well, a ninth, if you play the G major scale and you count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's back to the G again. But if we started to scale again and to that note there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that note is a ninth. But the ninth, there's a G note there, and since it's your do, re, you're going up that one step. That G to A, you see it here as well, G, A. So you can think of the ninths as the same as the second. So when we play this in our blues, by the way, there's the sound of the chord, that G6/9 chord. So if we play this ninth, we need to know where it is. Well, we've got in this shape here, we've got this A here on the 5th fret. You've got an A on the 2nd fret there, and an A here on the 5th fret. So again, if you think of your pentatonic scale, what we're doing is we're going to add this A note, or this ninth, however you want to think of it, to your scale. So you get a kind of a more chromatic line here instead of. You have a kind of a jazzy sound there, don't you? So now this is very famous, this ninth, even if it sounds jazzy there. Probably the most famous lick, you know, I can think of that uses this is that Stevie Ray Vaughan. If you're not familiar with that, that's bending that 5th fret up a whole step, then 3 on the B, 3 on the high E, pull 6 off the 3 on the B, and then there's your ninth on that 5 on the high E. Now what he does there, that's the flat 9 there, so and then 3, pull 6 off the 3 on the B string there. So that's a very famous lick using the ninths. What I did there was I went to the ninths there, so you could kind of repeat that. So if you think of that kind of shape, this major third here, where we, that kind of thing. So you can go back from that note, that third we just played, and then you can kind of put those two together. So you get that kind of a sweet sound with the ninths. Really the ninth, I suppose, is above the octave, so there's your G note, so it should be above the second octave, like here. But you could add this one too, this. You could add that kind of, think of that as a ninth if you like. And I'll tell you what works really well is the ninth going to the sixth, and you hear this a lot. So there's That's very bluesy, isn't it? So the ninth, the sixth we talked about last lesson. So if you start mixing these things up a bit, so it's got a jazzy quality, this ninth. So you can think of it as like a jazzy thing. Or you can make it a bit more bluesy by going from the ninth to the sixth. See what I did there? That was the ninth, going to the sixth, the A, E, back to the root. And see, I did the same thing there. You can get a few question and answer things going that way. And once you start mixing that with the kind of pentatonic scale, what I did there was I added the seventh of the chord there too. That's the F note, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but not the seventh in the blues, it's the flat 7. So you take that major 7, move it back once. So once you start adding all of these colour tones, the 6, then you can add the 9ths. And then maybe you could add the 7ths. You could come back to the lower notes. That was to the 7th, that G note. So once you start playing these, it starts to sound a bit more authentic. Because I remember when I started the blues, you know, I knew the pentatonic scale, but then I'd see transcriptions of things I wanted to learn, that kind of thing, and I get scared because I think, well, that note's in the pentatonic scale, but that one isn't. You know, and that one isn't either, and I thought, well, you can't play those notes, you know. But over time I started to learn a bit more, and you realise that, oh yeah, that's the 9th, the 6th, and then you start to get a more authentic blues kind of sound, don't you? You know, that kind of thing which you hear, which sounds bluesy, but it's not kind of, you know, in the pentatonic. But think of the pentatonic shape, that's absolutely important, and then place those 9ths and 6ths around it and take a phrase you might know. And then see if you can add those 6ths and 9ths anywhere you go. And you can either play it with the 7th chord. You don't have to play it with this 6-line chord. It just gives you the sound of that 9ths. Finish on the 7th. There we go. So have some fun with that. So the 6th, the 9th and the 7th, they all have their qualities to it. The 6th makes it sound quite sweet. The 9th a bit jazzy. And then the 7th really makes it kind of bluesy. And the other thing is, just before I go, make sure you add dynamics into it. You don't want to be playing. It's not good, you know. You want some feeling into the notes. We'll do this in another video, but you know. Okay, have some fun with that. See you in the next video.